Today's topic is innovation and entrepreneurship. Today we will be discussing how innovation and entrepreneurship are related. To start with, these two words are very closely related in the business world. Entrepreneurship is applying the innovation to bring the new ideas to life. Innovation refers to something, create something more effectively. It may be a process, it may be a product, it may be an idea. Innovation is a facilitator of entrepreneurship. Innovative ideas are what will separate a person from the rest. In order to create an outstanding product, strong brand, and to build your customers network, to need to be in you one need to be innovative. The six focuses area of innovations are product. Second is the service. The third is the process. The fourth is the management. That means business strategy, system, and structures you have to manage. The next is the open. That is working beyond boundaries and collaborating globally. And the last one is the value, creating unique value that eliminates the cost to compete. Now, sources of innovation. There are various sources of innovation. One is unexpected by chance. That is, someone might just come upon some new ideas or new products on which he can build take his innovation still further. He can have a growth in that area. The next is the congruity. When the need is incongruent with the supply, the innovation might be born. In attempt to resolve the existing incongruities, many people innovate. For example, as the population grew, the number of cars also grew, and as a result, there was a shortage in the parking areas. So, in this process, to solve the incongruity, many parking areas and parking storage, the small cars or the smart cars were born. Smart cars were small that can fit in small space. Incongruity can be an important source of innovation. It is basically in the nature of a human being to try to fill the incongruities which he sees around him. The next is the market structure. An existing market structure can also give rise to, is a place also for innovation. This is how the Google was born. Google shaped the search engine market. Before the Google search engine the, was not perfect, Google brought it in shape. Google, there was so much information scattered all over, and the World Wide Web, and Google made this information searchable. Thus, the World Wide Web gave rise to a market structure where a search engine like Google flourished. Google created a search engine that was linked to all the searchable data, and it paved the way for interconnection. The next is the necessity. As it is said that necessity is the mother of invention. It is also the mother of innovation. For example, microscope. It was born out of the need to dig deeper into the microbial world. Need always makes us think. Innovation is based on the bright ideas. The human mind things of new things that can be better and fulfill the existing need. The next comes the demography. Our lifestyle can also be a source of innovation, as we all have our lifestyle needs. For example, we need to smoke. Since smoking is dangerous, but because of that, cigarette came into the market. So lifestyle needs are not small needs, are not always small needs, but their fulfillment is important for us because it needs to be fulfilled. This is where innovators sometimes find opportunities. A changing perception regarding things that can also give birth to innovation. For example, previously overweight people were seen as a healthier person than a leaner one. But as the social perception of health changed, fat people are now looked as obsessed and unhealthy. People now feel that they need to remain leaner and healthier. And based on this changed perception, now the market is flooded with healthy, low calories food. The next is the new knowledge. New knowledge can also be a source of innovation, like nanotechnology, biotechnology, or even artificial intelligence. So, new knowledge is the area, in any area, is a source of innovation. The science keeps progressing. Every year, new areas are developed, and much get added to the existing human knowledge. This new knowledge paves our way for innovation that can sometimes be life changing. For example, healthcare is an area that has overseen heavily affected by such innovation, whether they merge from the field of biotechnology or nanotechnology. Now, next, the challenges that hinder innovation in an organization. The first one is employees aren't empowered to innovate. Their only work is to concentrate on their work. So there is effect in the innovation. Second is employees are motivated to innovate. Third is missing of an innovation strategy. The next is innovation is centralized to a functional group. Means only a particular group is only allowed to innovate and implement it. Next is lack of collaboration. There is no collaboration among the different groups in the organization or similar groups outside. So new ideas does not pop up in one's mind. The next is the lack of diversity. Next is current product offerings are successful. Means you are satisfied with the current product, what you are offering to the market, to the customers. So you think you don't need to think further to innovate. Next is missed connection with the customer. That is, there has to be a good network connections with the customers so that you can get their ideas, their thinkings, what they want, what they desire, and that makes you to think separately out of the box. The next is how to overcome the lack of innovation in business. So one must build a trust culture. That is, we all know that any development process is likely to throw up previous unknown issues. People should have trust in what their people are doing, because people do it's difficult to take or accept some new changes. So that trust should be there. Now take the lean path, a production practice, a way to achieve effectiveness, efficiency, and elegancy in the action. Take failure in a brighter way. You retain your flexibility, able to accept what it comes in your way. The next is how to increase the innovation. There are different steps. First is increase investment in idea generation. Next is develop deep customer understanding, means you have to understand your customer thoroughly. Ensure executive level focus and sponsorship. Next, establish a favorable company culture. That is, the people working should be able to accept the culture of that organization they are working in. Use outside source of idea effectively. From the outside environment, whatever idea is obtained has to be used effectively. Partners with suppliers for new ideas. Have a good connection with people, those who can give you new ideas. Dedicate additional resources for innovation. So these are the ways or the steps to increase the innovation in an organization. Now, how to manage the innovation effectively? That is, be exemplary. Words alone are not sufficient. You have to act. Expose and respect the innovation process. Whatever the innovation process is being done, you should respect that. Facilitate the process. Recognize the process step by step, the success that it is bringing. You start talking, open up, build bridges. That is among your colleagues, among your customers, everywhere you have to have good communication. Focus on the customer and you open up. You talk open mindedly. You discuss with them. That is open minded. So, this is how you can manage the innovation. Next is contribution of an entrepreneur to the society. There are various ways an entrepreneur contributes to the society. They are first, economic growth by creating wealth. The entrepreneur creates wealth for the people that are employed, and as a result for the local economy. It creates wealth on a national scale for the government in the form of taxation, which is then redistributed accordingly to the various services and the communities that need it the most. The success of an entrepreneur is ultimately in creating a product or services that adds value to the lives of its users, helps to push a market forward on a domestic level where relevant, and also drives export to new overseas markets. This again is a wealth creating exercise and a key drive of an economic growth. The next point is the job creation. Entrepreneurialism often requires the skills, labors of many hands, and that necessitates job creation. As the thriving business grows, so do the opportunity for others. This facilitates economic benefits, as employees with money in their pocket will naturally spend them on local goods and services. It also helps to push society forward As we know, unemployment causes crime, poverty, and the scope of physical and mental illness, and also adds further strain to already stretched health services. Suppliers, retailers, storage facilities, recruitment agencies, courier services, etc. All of these are benefited from the local company that is thriving. This helps to create jobs in these firms too, and so the cycle continues. Coming to the commerce and regional economic integration means the technology has made it possible for small entrepreneur led businesses to expand into regional and global markets. When new businesses export goods and services to nearby regions, these enterprises contribute directly to a region's productivity and earning. This increase in revenue strengthens an economy and promotes the overall welfare of a population. Thus, engaging in regional and international trade promotes investment in regional transportation and infrastructure, which also strengthens economy. Next point is the addressing the environmental changes. Innovation is and will continue to be crucial when it comes to addressing the environmental challenges that we are facing today. That is combating the climate change, lowering the global greenhouse gas emission, preserving biodiversity, etc. in the environment. Without power for extended period of time, commerce comes to a halt. Without water, one cannot live. So reliable access to these innovations like irrigation technology, electricity, urban infrastructure also increases the productivity and thus enhances the economic development. Philanthropy. This activity is the activity efforts to promote the activates to promote the human welfare. Some entrepreneur wishes to redistribute their newfound wealth through their enterprise to charities and local community ventures. Philanthropy initiatives leads to generate customer engagement by making the connection between your company, the customer experience, and community and buildings. Like employees, customer also wants to feel good about their companies they interact with. Philanthropy can include donating money to a worthy cause or volunteering time, your personal effort, or other forms of self-sacrifice. In modern time, philanthropy is often undertaken by those seeking tax breaks, in addition to feeling good and helping others. The next is the new technologies promote efficiency. Economic growth is generally speaking is driven by new technologies and their creative applications. Creating innovative products and solutions require an educated population and environment where collaboration work can take place. In addition to being good for business, education increases workforce, creativity, and quality of life. Innovation impacts the socio-economic objectives. Socio-economic factors include occupation, education, income, wealth, and where someone lives. Innovative business practices create efficiency and conserve resources. Like innovation in agriculture is especially relevant for addressing the socio-economic challenges in addition to encouraging economic growth. It is measured with indicators like GDP, literacy, level of employment, life expectancy, etc. Socioeconomic status is the social standing or the class of an individual or a group, and it is often measured as a combination of income, education, and occupation. Examination of socioeconomic status often reveals inequity in access to resources, plus issues related to privilege, power, and control. Next is the innovation happens where there is competition. There is a feedback loop among innovation, entrepreneurship, and economic development. Means because of innovation, your you, your entrepreneur grows, your organization grows, and as a result, there is an economic development. And because of the economic development, you are more encouraged to look out for sources of innovation, areas of innovation where you can develop your product or give your services, and hence that helps in the growth of your organization. Again, that results in economic development. So it is a feedback loop. Each from each of these, you are getting the feedback how you are doing. Now, new and growing businesses represents the principal source of job creation and innovative activity in an economy. Two factors that generally result in the rising standard of all. These are the two standing factors that results for the rising standard of the living for all. So this is for today.